As far as I'm concerned, right, when we say those things like, hey, I wish that there was a better representation of members of the LGBTQ plus community, I wish that there's more black people involved in this thing that's specifically dominated by white people, it's not so much trading capabilities for race, gender identity, or sexuality.
All right, that's not true. Here's the thing. When it comes to civil service, government, state jobs, etc., there's almost always female incentivized recruiting, which means only women can apply to these positions. The thing is this, and this is what Democrats and liberals don't want to fucking admit. In the United States of America, we practice reverse racism towards Caucasian males, and we expect them to shut the fuck up about it. And many of them don't say anything about it because they don't want to be labeled racist or bigoted. That's the truth.
I'm curious. I
want to say this because I think, and we're going to transition. And sorry to cut you off, Brad, but
you're good.
As the head moderator, the king moderator, as we know.
Go ahead.
Now I'm going to switch up because I feel like there's no doubt if you sit down with me, Emily, or Brad, you'll probably own us in a debate setting, especially on a topic like politics. You will probably own us. Like I'm not sitting here and saying that, say that, no problem, you're a smart guy. But like when it comes to certain this, and we're talking about like, let's just move into like common sense, right? We're going to go back to the fires. We're talking about fire, what's her name?
Which
Hold on,
chief?
Mike. Yeah.
mayor?
Do you know her name?
Karen Bass?
The chief of the fire department.
Oh, the lesbian?
Yeah, okay, so the fire department chief is, what they're saying, Elon Musk said this, a DEI hire that is pushing, she's part of the LGBTQ community, and she's trying to push for more of those members to join the fire department.
Okay.
And that's been a recent...
Can we start with DEI hire?
Yeah, but wait. Yeah, we'll get into that. I'm not afraid.
Well, that's what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, but wait, what I want to say is that something that she recently had said was that she wants to get more people involved, more members of the LGBTQ community, when it had me saying, and you're going to have a crazy answer for this and just go on, but when I think of something like that and I see that and you see the situation that's happening right now, why are we not just focused on getting people that are capable of fighting fires or that are smart? Why do we have to go and recruit a certain minority group to make more, to make them feel more at place, which is fun. I get that, but that even shouldn't be a topic. If you're gay, lesbian, black, Mexican, Asian, and you want to fight fires and you are capable, let's have you in there. We shouldn't be focused on just hiring those people, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Don't you think the point should be, let's get the best
to find
firefighters?
individuals with qualifications and merit. Here's the thing of how I perceive DEI to be applied to a lot of these issues. So when you have someone coming out and say, hey, I wish that there was more individuals of the LGBTQ plus community serving as a firefighter of LA County. I think within their current hiring processes, they're not going to discount the merit of a white guy to instead hire a less qualified black guy. And if you could demonstrate to me the LA policy and demonstrate to me a case where that has occurred, you'd prove me wrong. But as far as I'm concerned, right, when we say those things like, hey, I wish that there was a better representation of members of the LGBTQ plus community, I wish that there's more black people involved in this thing that's specifically dominated by white people, it's not so much trading capabilities for race, gender identity, or sexuality, but it's more so saying, well, we already have, an incredibly non-diverse populace of these well-accredited, merited white men, that are firefighting for the county. How about we also hire some well-accredited, merited non-white men, etc.?
Sure.
I don't think that you're trading qualification off for race.
In her interview, she does kind of focus on the fact, she acknowledges the fact that she is a lesbian. Yeah. She wants to bring in more LGBTQ.
All right, that's not true. So here's the thing. When it comes to civil service, government, state jobs, etc., there's almost always female incentivized recruiting, which means only women can apply to these positions. Bro, I remember when I was an agent for the government, like we would have female-only recruiting events. You know what I mean? Like that literally reinforces. The thing is this, and this is what Democrats and liberals don't want to fucking admit, right? They don't want to say this shit. I'm one of the few people that fucking talk about this shit as a colored guy. We practice reverse racism and we expect people to shut the fuck up about it. That's the truth. In the United States of America, we practice reverse racism towards Caucasian males, and we expect them to shut the fuck up about it. And many of them don't say anything about it because they don't want to be labeled racist or bigoted. That's the truth. So we go out of our way to find, recruit, and employ people based on the color of their skin, their gender, versus their accolades. That's the problem with DEI. And if we did this, and this, again, let's use the logic, Dean, since you like to go ahead and apply logic, right? If we went ahead and we applied that metric, and we said, okay, we're doing a white male only job search for talented recruits that are white males only, you know what would fucking happen? The country would be in a fucking uproar, bro.
You what?
There'd be people marching the fucking streets. There'd be civil unrest. They would go nuts. It would be frontline news everywhere. But we do this right now. Like I remember it was Bank of America, one of these banks, said that they'll give you a loan, right, for a home if you're black or Hispanic. What? Could you imagine if Bank of America came up with an offer? Hey, look, man, we'll give it loans to white dudes, not you other motherfuckers. Could you imagine? So let's use your logic, Dean. If the shoes on the other foot doesn't make sense, no, it doesn't. It will create problems. That's why DEI is such a fucking issue. It's reverse racism. But because it's reverse racism, we look at it as if it's not racism. It is. It's just that the party that you're targeting, white men, let's just be honest, that's what it is. DEI is a fight. It's a crusade against Caucasian males, under the premise that Caucasian males have too much power and we need to correct things. That's the whole fucking concept of affirmative action in DEI. If we were to put the shoe on the other foot, there'd be civil unrest.
Members.
And
I'm just saying, like, why is that such a main factor?
Sure. Well, I actually don't think it is a main factor, because when we'd probably look at the hiring policy,
Then why even talk about it? Like,
well, now, so we could talk about things even if they're not a main factor, because we want more representation and diversity in any job. But I, once again, will repeat, if you look at the qualifications for hiring from LA County for firefighters, I doubt race, gender identity, or sexuality is going to be one. That's nothing more than a statement asking for more diversity to exist inside of
do you
this role.
think that
No, that's not true, because the government always practices diversity hire events. They do it all the time. Whether state, local, municipal government, they have diversity hire events all the time.
that's played in any role? Like,
into hiring for
in California?
firefighters?
Yeah. No, and like we'll say DEI hires. That they want to diversify.
Oh, yeah, and sometimes I think it's a good thing. I think it's good that we have representation in the workplace. So say if we have like 4 candidates, one's a white guy, one's a white guy, one's a white guy, and one's a black guy, and these 4 candidates all have the same exact merit and accreditation, but in the demographic of the people that are already working the job, it's
that's where I'm
already
gonna cut you off,
95% white. Like, I have no issue if you say, hey, well, let's hire the black guy with the same exact qualifications.
How
as
often
the
do you
white
think
guy.
that happens, though, where you have a group of 5 people, all diverse, and they have the exact same qualifications?
Wait, we see like highly accredited, well-qualified individuals at the top of like
Of course.
hiring lists
But I'm
all
saying,
the
how
time.
often do you think that happens?
How often? I don't know how like often it happens.
Okay.
Is the point you're trying to make is like, why are we even having that conversation in general and
It's
just
like-
hiring people who are good for the job?
And I keep
they're-
going back to this, but like I'm very active on X. Elon posts about this all the time. I think he even maybe retweeted this.
I mean, what the fuck is this, Dean? Like, dude, look. Equitable hiring. To ensure a more inclusive workplace, the motion directs the Los Angeles County Fire Department to create major labor management diversity, equity, and inclusion committee, which will include members from underrepresented groups, including women, people of color, and LGBTQ individuals. This committee will provide input on hiring, promotional processes within the department. The motion also directs the department to create training on cultural and implicit bias and explore creating diversity, equity, and inclusion officer within the Los Angeles County Fire Department. See, and like, he's not telling the truth. They absolutely do practice biased hiring practices. It's on their fucking website, man. So no, get the fuck out of here, bro. And again, why do I know this? I know this because when I worked for the government, we would have female-only hiring events. The FBI, I know that they had an event specifically for black people to hire black agents. Like, it's right here. If you're specifically looking for a certain demographic of people, by definition, you are not looking at the best and the brightest, because your ability to find the best and brightest is limited to a small subset of people. That's the fucking problem, Dean. You cannot practice DEI while simultaneously trying to recruit the best and the brightest. Because by you practicing DEI, you've limited your group of qualified applicants to a subset of the overall population, so therefore people will automatically not even be looked at or seen or in the process whatsoever. And that is the problem with DEI. That's the fucking problem. And that's the ugly truth that liberals don't want to fucking acknowledge. Oh, we're just trying to diversify the workplace, blah, blah. But in the process of diversifying the workplace, you ostracize entire groups of other individuals that are absolutely qualified, or in some cases even more so qualified than the DEI pool that you're fucking using. But they want to focus on inclusivity versus meritocracy.
Because when I hear it,
video.
listen, when I hear it, the fact that we're even talking about it, like what, like
Is ridiculous.
why don't we just, if they're there and they're qualified, show up and apply for the job? But the fact that there is a chief saying we're looking for this, it's gonna already make other people be like, oh, okay, maybe
this
maybe
is-
not me.
But
Right,
does it
right?
change
Wait,
the
I'm gonna go back to
empirical
Red's
outcome
point,
at
but this is the point that they're making, is that they're saying they're unqualified.
Yeah, and I
people
don't
are
believe
absolutely
that.
unqualified.
I don't see enough evidence for that.
Okay, let's play this clip.
There's a lot
Do
of
you owe
facts about
citizens an apology
This is
for
the mayor
being
of LA.
absent while their homes were burning?
Oh, she just
Do
walks
you
away.
regret cutting the fire department
I've seen
budget
this.
by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position?
All right.
Madam Mayor, have you not?
And then
but
play, wait, one more, and then you go. Can you play the URL one too, just so we can make sure Dean has seen all these?
Yeah, then I'd love to respond after this.
Emergency information, resources, and shelter is available. All of this can be found at URL. Los Angeles, together is how we will get through this. Through the heroism
You're good.
of our firefighters, the
Okay. I already know
Wait,
exactly
what was
I'm
that?
about to say.
What are we?
She was telling the people where to find her.
She's like, go online.
Where to search, go online for shelter, for supplies, and she read off a
It's
thing.
fine. There's no,
They
obviously
left,
the power goes out.
They left out the website, so she saw URL and read,
Got it.
go to URL.
Yeah, here's what I have to say about that. So
Both clips that you just saw.
yeah, it wasn't too long ago when we saw Mitch McConnell and Mitch McConnell.
No, I don't want to talk about Mitch McConnell. I want to focus on these two.
So I'm going to focus in on that. I have to wrap in a couple other things that I find to be relevant. It wasn't all too long ago when we all saw Mitch McConnell standing in front of Congress with a mic in front of reporters just for 10 minutes saying nothing before he was ushered off stage. And, just a couple months ago, we found out that a Republican congresswoman had been living in a dementia care facility for the last 6 months. And it's funny because no one ever mentioned their race. But of course, as soon as it is a what I see to be incredibly competent black woman that did have like 2 moments when it's like, what she doing? It's all about her race. And I think this raises the larger question of why do you always want to zero in and persecute someone when they're black, but then seemingly when we have the white
Here we go.
the white congressman on stage not answering reporters for 10 minutes, you don't care that much, or
So
the white
here's
congresswoman
what I'm
in
gonna
a
say.
care
There,
facility,
I
you don't
didn't
care
say
at all.
I didn't say one thing about her race. Didn't say
Yeah,
one
where did
thing.
that come from?
This wasn't a conversation relating to DEI.
I want to just let you know that this is what's going on right now. This is the biggest moment in her career, 100%.
Yeah, she blew it. She blew it in that first
absolutely
clip.
blew it.
That not
what
answering the
my main
questions,
point,
yeah.
I don't give a race. I don't care if she's gay, straight. I don't give a bro. But when I see somebody like that, and when you have people in need that have to turn to somebody, and she's doing that kind of job, you have the firefighter talking about whatever. Then you have Gavin Newsom, who also doesn't know what to say. Like that raises a lot of red flags. And like you could see people who are citizens here, who live here, who have families that are affected. All three of us that are kind of pissed off. And
About the URL one, okay.
They're much nicer about it than me. I would have just called it like it is. Bro, this is why I shouldn't hold positions of power, bro. Fuck wrong with you, man.
Old lady who I don't get it.
But
I don't
that's-
give a
but
fuck.
that-
I hope that
but
they
Dean,
correct
that's
it.
no
About the
excuse.
first
If she's an
clip,
old lady,
about
she
about
shouldn't be there.
about the first clip of her like not answering questions, standing in like the airport
come on,
walkway.
you could
that was
you could give
ridiculous.
us responses.
It's already bad if they're liberal. If you look at the most dangerous cities in the United States, almost all the most dangerous cities in the United States are run by Democrats, right? And a lot of the times they're female mayors, female governors, etc. Women overwhelmingly tend to be left-leaning. And we have clear evidence that leaning left is not good to preserving a safe and fruitful society. All the most dangerous cities run by Democrats in the United States of America. All of them. Maybe with the exception of like 2.
Yeah, the first clip.
6-year-old could
I
give a
will,
response to
I will
that.
absolutely say that the first clip was ridiculous, not answering any questions. Like I'd say that was something bad that she did.
You wanna know what
And then
that
also the
made me
reason
think
I
about?
brought up like the fact that she was a black woman was because I'm guessing you played that clip relating to the prior conversation we're having about DEI and supposing that the only reason she was hired was not because of any merit qualifications.
What I
but
want to say
because of
about
her
that is
race.
because
and then you use that as an example
Elon
to
Musk,
demonstrate the
as
lack
you
of
just
merit
had seen,
qualifications.
Elon Musk and a ton of other people have been reporting about this, saying she's completely unqualified, using DEI as a reason to why she was hired. I'm not saying that. I'm letting you know what other people have been saying.
Yeah, and I disagree with them all. We see this all the time from white people in government leadership. I think that we should just focus on getting younger people in these positions, and it has nothing to do with the fact that she's black, that she was hired and underqualified, or else we wouldn't have seen Mitch McConnell do the same thing, or the other white congresswoman from North Carolina or wherever the hell living in a dementia care facility for 6 months.
I think that after watching that clip, I think I could be the mayor.
Well, I don't know about
Is that crazy?
I don't know if you can pull it off. I mean,
Could you be the mayor?
I think I could.
I think I would at least have responded.
You would
to
have
a question.
responded to that.
I could pull
I
it
could do
off.
that. You could pull that off.
You were in
And-
LA the other day though?
Huh?
I mean, I feel
was-
like
she was-
I'm
dude, she
super.
was in
I'm
Africa.
I'm unqualified to be having this conversation. I just want to point that out. I don't know anything about her. I'm not from LA. I haven't even heard about her until today. Should I do more research on her? Yes. Is it very possible that she's done a lot of good things for LA? Yes.
Sure.
Did she absolutely drop the ball in that clip? Yes.
Wait, do you live here?
Yeah.
Okay, you've been here a while?
Yes.
So you're aware she ran against Rick Caruso,
Yeah. Who should have won for sure?
who we all voted for, we believe,
Yeah.
truthfully won. He was the true winner. You put him
What do you
in
mean
his
truthfully
career.
won?
We believe that it was rigged, and
Okay.
he
Why
won.
do you do that? You just you don't like it when you lose, so then you just call it rigged all the time. Trump did the same thing
This
in
isn't
2020.
me. This is a lot of people this is my city, and I fight very hard for all
2020
the
rigged?
corrupt politics here. So back to
You
what
look
I
like a
was
congresswoman right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Was 2020
So
rigged?
back to what I was saying.
Okay, sorry.
You should understand. You put her next to him.
Okay, this is where she fucked up. Don't ever say an election is rigged if you're not prepared to outline exactly why it was rigged, right? Like you need to be able to, because here's the thing with the left, right? Ever since 2020, the 2020 election, anytime anyone on the right or any conservative says, yo, this thing was fucking rigged, blah, 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 they're going to call you a Looney Tune conspiracy theorist. So you need to be able to substantiate your points as to why it was rigged. This topic will probably come up when I debate on Friday, by the way, with these liberals, right? With me and Andrew Wilson. But there's a litany of evidence that shows that at best, there was significant tampering with the votes in the 2020 election, right? So if you're going to make a claim like this, that it's rigged, you need to be able to substantiate your position. You cannot make a claim like that without having facts ready to go about why it was rigged. Because see how he just scoffed at her and like wrote her off as an idiot for saying that? If you're gonna make a claim that many are going to call you a conspiracy theorist or try to doubt your validity, you must have your points on fucking point. Ready to go. This is why there was a connection. These declassified documents show XYZ. Do not let fucking liberals like Dean Withers sit there and call you a radical conspiracy theorist. Do not do that. But again, right, Emily is a very lazy debater. She just says things that might be true, but since she can't substantiate what she's saying, she comes off as an idiot, right? And this is what I mean when I say, if you're gonna have debates, right, with individuals from opposing viewpoints, contrary to yours, you need to come in with everything correct. So any of you guys, right, a lot of us that watch this tend to lean more right. If you're gonna make the claim that something is rigged, have the bullet points ready to fucking go. Your job isn't necessarily to convince the person you're debating. Your job is to convince the audience that's watching you that there's some validity to your stance.
There's no match. He's very successful. He built all the, LA's favorite places here. He's brilliant. He's raised an incredible family. No one knew who Karen Bass was. You put them next to each other, then I look at her and I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. He's a white dude. He's very wealthy. On paper, he's much more successful than her. He would have done a better job running the city. And that's where I'm like, well, yeah, I think you got this because you're a typical Democrat. And this is probably when people say DEI, this is what they're talking about. The white man was better off.
Wait, here's my question for all three of you. Wait, do you think that this being California's obviously a Democratic state, LA very...
Yeah, so her basis for it being rigged is that he was a white guy and they practiced DEI against him. Like, bro, that's just not going to stand, man. Like, that's just not going to stand.
Very Democratic. Do you think that does change the look they want to have, the vote that they have towards people?
Wait, like generally speaking, so this is the mayor that was voted in through through an election, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no way. Okay, then absolutely no way her being black or her being a woman helped her at all. Typically what we see is people are less likely to vote for women compared to men because of the traditionalist lie that men are better at leading than women, alongside...
No, it is not a lie. If you look at the course of human history, men have always had power and society has thrived. The only thing that works by definition of the successful society we're in is a patriarchy. And the only time women achieve power is within a patriarchy because men have the monopoly of force. Like, dude, and this is what I mean when I say that liberals just don't accept reality.
The fact that people are less likely to vote for a black candidate compared to a white candidate, and I would love for any of you to demonstrate me any empirics to come to the conclusion that that's not the case even in LA County.
Yeah, the 2008 fucking election when everybody voted for Barack Obama. How about that one? How about that one? Why? Because Barack Obama came off as a better candidate than John McCain. He was better spoken. He had a better campaign. Used a better slogan, right? Great orator. Charismatic, charming, etc. So no, that's a lie. Barack Obama won in like a fucking landslide. So is it really that people are more likely to vote for a white male, or is it that people are more likely to vote for the person that simply is better, regardless of skin color? I would go with the latter.
Yeah, the only DEI that could possibly have occurred in that election is more people voting for the white guy over the black woman, not the opposite.
Why? But do you think the DEI, this whole new wave of really using that term to refer to people that have won or been elected, do you think that there is a DEI problem?
No, not in civil elections, not at all. And I don't think that DEI is a problem.
Okay.
Definitely not in civil, no. Like I said, civil elections like this for government roles where the people vote, if anything, there is a DEI problem as it would relate to white men. People are more likely to vote for a white guy than a white woman. People are more likely to vote for a white guy than a black guy. People are more likely to vote for a white guy than a black woman. If anything, that's the DEI problem, and that's all driven, given hundreds of years of white supremacy and the patriarchy.
What about Obama, though?
Oh, Obama won. Did I say that the white guy is certainly going to get voted in over the black guy?
How many terms?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, but one empirical outcome doesn't mean that what I said was wrong.
Was he one of the first candidates? Was he one of the first black candidates to run? That made it that far?
One of the first to run? No, he was the first black candidate to win the presidency. Yeah. But for instance, if I have 50 pairs of shoes, 30 of them are blue, 20 of them are red. Sometimes I'm going to be putting on the red shoes, even though it's more likely I put on the blue shoes. So when you have hundreds of years of presidential elections and, there's predominantly white people filling these roles, and we know it's an empirical fact that individuals are more likely to vote for a white person over a black person, the idea that because we've had one black person in those roles doesn't demonstrate that people still don't have the tenacity to vote for a white person over a black person.
Okay.
So we should DEI our shoes.
What's that?
We should DEI our shoes.
He's a big analogy guy.
It's I gotta pick the red one.
No.
I'm trolling. I just wasn't even a clip. I just randomly was scrolling for some reason. I think this must have been, I don't know if this was just after the election, but we're arguing about Trump losing or why he shouldn't have won or whatever. But my personal, what's that?
Trump shouldn't have won.
Anyway, so either way, the point is I was just
Wait,
watching
you have a response to that?
Well, we could talk about it later.
Well, he
Feel
won.
free to
So
finish
wait. So when this is the weird
But you're
thing with
kinda- but
politics.
that's
Hold
what
on a
I'm saying.
second. This is the weird thing with politics. When she said someone should have won, and she believed for whatever reason she believed they should have won, you go, oh, but they voted. And now when someone won,
Oh no! Emily
Yeah.
literally said the election was rigged.
okay, so you're just saying you just believe he shouldn't have won. That's what.
Yeah,
got it.
like my belief is that if everyone was perfectly
See how he was able to immediately like stop Brad in his tracks because of her nonsensical stance? Words have meaning, guys. Like when you say dumb shit, they're able to disqualify everything you say after it, right? He went right back to, oh no, she said the election was rigged. Oh, okay. That's why if you're gonna say things like that are controversial, you need to be able to fucking back up what you're saying. I'm not saying don't say an election is rigged. I ain't saying that. I'm saying if you're gonna say that, come ready with facts.